Phil Jackson won a record 11 NBA titles, hence the name of his new book, 11 Rings, The Soul of Success, emphasis on soul. The book released yesterday, and Phil Jackson joins us now on SportsCenter. And Phil, I think the part of the book that has drawn the most attention is the chapter called Chop Wood, Carry Water, where you finally compare Michael to Kobe. And I guess Jordan does come out ahead in most of the categories. What did you think Kobe's reaction might be when he read about all this?
I didn't think about Kobe's reaction. I really didn't, to be honest with you. But, you know, I know Kobe compares himself, and I think that, you know, Michael's one of the challenges he has replacing him on the all-time scoring list. And I think he'll probably do that in a couple of years, maybe even one. But he's a comparable item. I don't think anybody else has been able to be even compared to Michael until Kobe.
He's in the conversation. If you ask Kobe if he's as good as Michael, what does he say?
I don't like that term, as good as, really. I mean, I didn't say that in the book, so listeners don't believe that particular appellation. There's no such thing as good as. Different, yes. And both of them are winners, and that's about as great as I can say, except that they're very different ball players, you know, but they're very similar. And their blood in the water, shark attitude about scoring and about attacking, very same. Competitive desire, almost equal.
Although when you get off the court, you say Kobe sort of shuts it off where Michael didn't really. It just kept going with him.
Yeah, you know, Michael had a lot of things that he liked to do. Play pool, ping pong, golf, you name it. He could compete in all those other things. Kobe didn't compete, you know, off the court like that. And, you know, actually in the book, I think Rick Fox expresses it really well in a statement that he made to me. But, you know, he said, you know, Michael, it was a challenge just to drive from Wilmington to Durham, North Carolina, and Michael was going to beat you in time-wise. You know, Kobe, he could care less.
You do reveal in the book you had some anger towards Kobe during that season when he was on trial for rape and why it hit home to you. If you could, Phil, just tell us what was happening at that time.
Well, you know, I'd taken a motorcycle trip from California out through the mountains of Colorado and stopped to see some friends in, you know, Eagle, Colorado, and Kobe was there the same day. And, you know, my journey went on to my 40th class reunion in, you know, North Dakota, Williston, North Dakota. And Mitch Kupchak called me up and said, you know, guess what? We've got a situation on our hands. It's really a difficult one. Kobe's been charged with rape. I said, where? And he said, in Vail, Colorado. He went out to have his knee replaced, or knee treated. And I said, when? And he told me the day. I said, I was there. And, you know, anyway, the situation that ensued was complicated. It was devastating. You know, Kobe was in, you know, a difficult situation. The organization was trying to cover for him. It was at best one of the hardest situations that we've had to go through as a team and as a coach for myself. And for me, I'd had a situation similar on the other end of the scale with a child of mine, and it brought up all those things to me.
Your relationship with Kobe Bryant seems to have evolved over time. I mean, it seems like with you and Michael, you were pretty much simpatico from the beginning. Tell us about the journey with you and Kobe Bryant.
Well, with Kobe Bryant, you know, he's the age of my sons when I, you know, came into L.A. to coach that team, and you know, it was more like a father-son relationship. He didn't really, you know, take that on as a relationship, and you know, I actually knew that, you know, this is going to be one that was going to be constantly, you know, challenging. With Michael, is more of like I've been an assistant coach. It was a relationship, a brother kind of relationship, which was more of a, you know, suggestions or ideas that you might want to do this, or this is something that would be really good. I want you to do, you know, a little less scoring, a little more, you know, team play. With Kobe, I was much more direct with him, and it was probably a little harder on him, but the relationship that we evolved to have was a great relationship. We had tremendous feelings for each other, and I don't think I've ever been as close to a player as I've been with Kobe.
Phil, let's talk about you. I know you're currently unemployed, always looking to help out. There is a job opening for an NBA head coach in Los Angeles as of the last 24 hours. So if the Clippers come calling, what would you say to them?
Thanks. Been real nice, but no thanks.
Why not?
Well, I'm really not interested in coaching. I mean, the opportunity to coach the Lakers again this year was something I had to sit back and think about. You know, it was a chance to maybe help out the Buss family in a situation that was, at best, trying. This is a altogether different type of situation. I wasn't interested in going anywhere else to coach at that time, but that was the one thing that appealed to me as a gesture of goodwill. But the Clippers have a great team. Someone's gonna inherit quite a talented team.
Is there anything you still want to do in the NBA? There's been talk about you going into the front office. Does that interest you?
Well, I had some interest in the Seattle opportunity, and the Chris Hansen, who proposed moving that team to Seattle, we've been in contact for almost 2 years up to this situation at the present date. And, unfortunately that did not work out for him. But fortunately, the Sacramento people stepped up strongly and supported their team and showed their dedication to the Kings. And Kevin Johnson did a great job getting support behind the team. And, they're staying in Sacramento. So the Seattle thing is not going to be a possibility. But I thought, Chris Hansen had a great idea. I thought he did the right work. I thought there was a good opportunity. I thought he wanted to start fresh, and I thought it was a perfect space where someone could start fresh with a basketball club without, a lot of clutter and a lot of stuff that had to be revamped. Didn't work. Didn't happen. Now it's time to move on.
All right. I'm sure you'll latch on somewhere, Phil.
I don't know if I even want to latch
No?
on, but that's a nice thing to say. No, I'm not that interested. I'm not dying to do that.
Things are good for Phil Jackson. The book is 11 Rings, The Soul of Success. Phil Jackson with us today at SportsCenter. Phil, we appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
You bet, David.